Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I will be posting daily updates from the topics that caught my attention in the subreddit Superstonk on Reddit. Looking on the news from 5th of July, and we are starting off with a reoccurring theme, GameStop's float. A post from Expensive2 draws attention to that for 3 years ago on June 30, 2019, GameStop's public float was reported to be 99.74 million. On June 30, 2022, GameStop's public float was also reported to be 99.74 million. Quite a coincidence that the exact same numbers pop up and glitches around the float keeps occurring. The total outstanding share are 76 million, so why do these extra shares that are not supposed to be there keep showing up, and why does it match an exact number from public 3 years ago? The post goes into depth and have several screenshots with regards to problem related to the public float, and claims Reddit has removed his earlier posts and screenshots. He complains about the complexity of the system, a lot of healthy discussion in the comments, some talking about how GameStop is an idiosyncratic risk and the former buyback. I would like to highlight a comment from Beaver Hunter.
Needlessly complicated. I beg to differ. The people in power most definitely need these things to be so complicated. If the average Joe Schmo could make sense of things, myself included, they'd be super duper fucked.
Probably my phrasing, but that's exactly it. They need the system to be complicated so they can keep average retail investors in the dark. But now retail has so many eyes on many things that the cracks are being exposed.
Next up is a post I found with regards to the subreddit's dedication to help other people being able to direct registering shares. There are plenty of guides on how to DRS your shares depending on your country of origin and broker. Our boys over at Superstonk have now figured out a new way for people unable to use any of the original methods, and deduced that starting your own company in Wyoming would allow you to DRS your shares. Wyoming having no state tax and the best protection for your assets. More of a meme post, but would like to see someone actually taking the step to register a company in Wyoming just to DRS their shares. The comments went straight to talking about if it would be cost efficient and the cost of starting a business.
Imagine opening your own hedge fund just to DRS faster.
Look at me, I'm the hedge fund now.
Next up is a continuation of the discussion we had yesterday regarding Bed, Bath, and Beyond. How important it is that Superstonk do not just become an echo chamber of the popular ideas, and that the sub has general discussion about topics not directly related to GameStop, and that opening our eyes beyond just GameStop might give us a better picture of the corruption going on in the financial system. The discussion kept going in comments. Both sides raising valid points, and I chose to highlight the most upvoted comment chain from Kaiser.
On one hand, everyone complains about BBBY being the play and no one is interested in Superstonk, but on the other there is no substantial DD proving that to be the case. There is a reason why people trust their investment in GME and DRS. We have countless DD reinforcing the idea that it is the play, but maybe one argument that BBBY is a swap position that allows GME to squeeze. So instead of complaining about their being pushed back, I'd rather read a real DD that makes the connection.
Exactly. I think discussion and good DD on BBBY is important, but an onslaught of posts trying to distract people from investing in and DRSing GME is counterproductive.
DD for why the discussion regarding Bed, Bath, and Beyond was of course produced. Superstonk never sleeps. Epstatic Fail provided some insight into the discussion with regards to swaps and the basket theory. People doing due diligence on GameStop has stated that GameStop is probably in a basket with other stocks affecting the price movements formerly observed, raising the question if there is another way to build up pressure on shorts. Bed, Bath, and Beyond has a lower market cap and had a reported short interest last week of approximately 80%. Lower market cap would mean it would take less money to buy and DRS Bed, Bath, and Beyond than GameStop. The comments were mostly against this idea, not liking the idea of buying a company with the risk of bankruptcy and very negative cash flow. Top upvoted comment was regarding old wisdom from Ron Swanson.
Never half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing.
Nice Violinist posted a longer comment on the situation, which I found really illuminating and put the discussion into perspective.
It's a strange dichotomy. On one hand, this group of apes has been essential in rewriting the entire book on market theory, and playing it like the video game it's always been. On the other hand, it is incredibly bizarre to me how weirdly militant a lot of apes are about, but just GME. Only GME you shill, especially considering the fact that all this fraud is correlated across several tickers. I mean, shit, look at that revolutionary popcorn/swap hedge, DD. If a large percentage of apes had their way, that DD never would have seen the light of day, which would absolutely have been to our detriment. It's so strange. I really don't get it. Apes are experts at finding information everyone else has always ignored, yet simultaneously, apes are basically holding their hands over their ears going LLLLLA. I can't hear you when it comes to any non-GME ticker, even if that ticker is essential to the success or failure of GME. WTF? It's like apes have recognized that the entire stock market is a massive fraud, and are fully dedicated to exposing it. Right up until another relevant ticker is brought up, and then it's all FUD and shill infestation, and we only do GME here. Why? What's the point? Let's say, just for the sake of argument, that a bunch of retail investors suddenly going long on BBBY in addition to GME is what would finally launch the GME rocket. Or, moreover, safe for DRSing the entire GME free float, 1 to 2 years at a minimum. Even just a little kick to BBBY would launch the GME rocket, but nothing else will do it. Not magic, not popcorn, not Elon Musk sending a fucking tweet. Again, I am not saying this is true, I'm just having a discussion. But if it was, would we even be able to discuss that ignition tactic under this current superstonk climate? I don't think so. Ironically, there's a pretty good probability that apes would shoot themselves in the foot by banning discussion on the one piece of the puzzle that could crack this whole thing wide open before it even gets off the ground. It's just so strange to me. It's strange how we're allowed to talk about 741 and whatever stupid fucking tweet analysis conspiracy theory is trending this week non-stop, but you can't even mention another ticker playing to GME's advantage or its blasphemy, and you're a shill. What the hell, guys? Is this an open forum where we break all the rules of Wall Street or not? What's our goal here? Is it to preach the cult religion of GME to our unenthusiastic coworkers, or is it to make millions of fucking dollars? I'm just sick of artificially hampering ourselves for the sake of purity. Let's fucking have it all out. Let's talk about everything. Remember, not too long ago, DRS was widely regarded as a shill distraction tactic, and anyone who posted about DRS was downvoted to hell. The game is fluid. Let's not be rigid. We don't want to become popcorn, do we?
Suzanne Trimbath had another comment on the financial system and regulation, asking the very valid question regarding the self-regulatory system currently in place. Should a for-profit exchange be under a self-regulatory system, and are they best suited to preserve a fair and free market? Calling these agencies quasi-governmental agencies. I picked out 2 comments I found related to the discussion.
ESRB and MPAA self-regulated for the exact purpose of curtailing government regulation, namely to prevent the government from telling them what was appropriate to produce. I'd imagine NYSE isn't much different in this thinking, just perhaps their ultimate goals were much more self-serving. However, when dealing with money, it's prudent to make sure that there is some meaningful oversight and regulation. Regulation has gotten a bad stigma in the past few decades, but it can be a good thing when used effectively, which unfortunately doesn't seem to happen much anymore.
So that Wall Street can steal from investors. Their entire business model is stealing via market manipulation.
And lastly, I want to finish the day with some of my favorite memes for the day. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.